Welcome back. So now that we have the pattern down here, I think it's going to be pretty easy actually to add support for add support for the other parts of the data model. Before I forget, I've always been committing my changes here as I do each section, and I forgot that I need to do these ones. So let's just commit that. What do we want to say? We want to say use of maybe, capital M maybe, for the main data section. All right, so here's what we want to do. I think we want to declare something for the buttons and for the items. So let's go back to DynamoDB and maybe go over here and let's grab one of these items. Okay, so we can see items that got stuff like this. So now I'm going to go back to code and let's see. We're going to say that type alias I'll just say item equals, what does it equal? It equals a record that's got a byline, image URL, and title. Boy, that's so similar. I think I'm just going to grab it from here. Yeah, that'll be a little easier. I think I'll just comment this section out because that could be useful in a minute. Nice, so that's what an item looks like. And I bet you, if I remember, I think our button is pretty similar. Let's look at the nav button. Name and URL. Well, that's not too bad. In fact, that's so easy. I think we can just go straight. Well, let's copy it anyways. Copy. Let's go back to code. And we're going to say type alias. I'll say nav button equals this. And I want to say, actually this isn't an item, this is an item model. And this is a nav button model. Model is just, something that holds the data. So now I'm just going to copy this, comment this out. And we know now that we need a name, and that's a string. And we know that we need a URL, and that's also a string. Okay, so far so good. Now we're going to go in here and we're going to say items. Well, what is items? Well, it's actually a list of item model. Do I need a comma here? I think I do. Yes, I do. And here I need a comma, and for the buttons, I'll say this is a list of nav button model. And in fact, I think I like the word nav button here, so I'll say nav button. So nav buttons. Okay. So I could be totally wrong, but I think by the time we actually fetch our data from DynamoDB, we'll be populating a data structure that looks exactly like this. So that's the plan. Cool. Now that we've made this change, now that we've changed what the model looks like, I think if we go down here, I'm surprised that it didn't complain. Oh, what's this? I'm missing something, that's why. So the first error is up here. Unfinished type alias. What did I miss? Probably looks, when I look at this one, I'm thinking it's indentation. And it was. Let's do this one too. Nice. This is one of the first areas where usually I know Elm is not that picky about indentation, but it is here. I've also used Haskell, and it definitely is an indentation language. I got to say, once you get used to using an indentation language, they're great. They really are, because they do exactly what you think they're going to do. Okay. Looks pretty good. Let's go now. Now that's interesting. So now that I fixed these errors, the error shows up in the place that I suspected we'd get an error, which is down here. Because now we have not specified our two other properties. So let's see, we said we need items and nav buttons. Now the quick way to get rid of the error here is to say this. Say, well, we've also got a section called items, and that's equal to an empty array. And we've got a section called nav buttons, and that's equal to an empty array. Not bad. Okay, but what's better for sample data is to actually stick in the items and the nav buttons. So let's do that. Let's go up here, and I got my first one here. I'm going to copy that. I'm going to cut that out of here. So that's our first item. So in items, paste that in. Actually, what I should do is it's going to be a bunch of records, and those records will have stuff like this in it. And we'll say uncomment. Okay, getting better. Now at the moment it's a JSON payload, so we need to convert it to what we think it's going to look like. Looking pretty good. Hey, that looks pretty good. Okay, and let's get at least the one nav button going, because we got the data here. Copy that out of there, bring it down here. And once again, we're going to have a record. And it's complaining now because we haven't filled in what that record needs. It needs a name and a URL. Looks pretty good. Oh, I wonder if name's a reserved word. Okay, well, first of all, I'm just going to do a quick reformat. Oh, that was the problem. There was an indentation issue. Oh, beautiful. You know, that looks just fine. Okay, so now we can actually update our view to read the items and read the nav buttons. Yeah. So let's go back to, before I do that, let's just finish off our data here. Let's grab this one. And so the idea is items is a collection of records. That's the first record. And here's the second record. I do wonder if there's a better way to do this, but you know, I've only got a handful of records, so I'm not too worried. Well, yeah, we'll clean that up when we reformat the last one. That's record number 2. Let's go back here. We'll do record number 3. And we'll go back here, and let's see, once again, new record, And I think I got one more thing left. Let's go back here. I know it's not a huge amount of data, but we do like it to be, you know, driven from the database so that we can update this. I think this is the last one. Copy. We're going to go back to code. So there's one button, and the other button is going to look more like this. To format. Excellent. Okay. Is everything compiling? I think it does. Great. Okay, so now our model is greatly expanded, and we've got a section for items and nav buttons. And in the next video, we'll update our view to actually loop through those things and populate that data. Hope you see me soon. Thank you.